In this video, we're going to learn about a special type of sequence called an arithmetic sequence. Specifically, this is where you start with some number and then you keep adding the same number to it each time to get the next number in your sequence. So in this case, 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 3 is 14, plus 3 is 17, plus 3 is 20, and so on forever. This is a special thing called an arithmetic sequence. Now, when you have an arithmetic sequence, we have this nice formula here that says the nth term is always the first term plus d, the common difference, times n minus 1. So the common difference is the number you're adding each time. Because of this fact, problems that ask you to find a formula for arithmetic sequences can follow a nice straight pattern instead of having to guess what your pattern is. So for this first sequence here, 1, 5, 9, 13, and so on, the first term is 1, and each time we are adding 4 to it here, so d is 4. So a1 plus d times n minus 1, 1 plus 4 times n minus 1, 4n minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. So that is the formula for the first one. Now the second one here, you'll see each time I'm subtracting 3 instead of adding. That's perfectly fine, because subtracting 3 is the same as adding a negative 3. So here my a1 is 2, my d is negative 3, an is a1 plus d times n minus 1, 2 minus 3 times n minus 1. We get negative 3n plus 3 plus 2 is 5. And there's the formula for that sequence. So if I ask you to find the formula for just some random sequence, it can be incredibly difficult. But at least if it's an arithmetic sequence, you can get the answer nice and quickly. Furthermore, we can also use another fact that when you're adding up a bunch of terms in an arithmetic sequence, you can always find the answer by taking the first and the last term, adding them up, multiplying by how many terms there are, divided by 2, and that will give you the total. Now for this one here, we're adding 1 plus 5 plus 9 plus 13 and so on all the way to 101. So we certainly have the first term is 1, the last term is 101, but we don't know what our n is. How many terms are there? Now you could write them all out, 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 21, and so on. You could try to count them up. Or a better way is we have this formula right here. An is 4n minus 3. And then we know the last term is 101. Add 3. And we get 26. So now we know the n is 26 here. Put that in, and we would have 13 times 102. And we put that in our calculator here. And I get 1,326. So you see, we can get our answers to these things nice and quickly as long as it's an arithmetic sequence. This is a very specialized version, but it's also pretty commonly come up. And in those cases, we have these nice formulas.